Hi students, yesterday yesterday video just introduction of modern physics started, and in that we discussed the discovery of electron with the help of discharge tube, and also the properties of cathode rays. So cathode rays are nothing but electrons only, and the name is given by a scientist. His name is Johnstone Stoney. So today's video covers the determination of specific charge of an electron by J.J. Thomson experiment or method. So in this, what is specific charge? Specific charge is the ratio of charge to mass of an electron. So the ratio of charge to mass of an electron. So that ratio is known as specific charge. So what is the value of the ratio of charge to mass of an electron? Is determined experimentally by J.J. Thomson method. So that we are going to discuss. So in this, the principle involved in this method is the cathode rays are produced in the discharge tube, and those cathode rays are allowed to pass through both electric and magnetic fields which are perpendicular to each other. They are nothing but crossed fields. When these cathode rays are nothing but electrons, when these electrons are allowed to pass through both electric and magnetic field such that they are perpendicular to each other, they are nothing but crossed fields, then we can be identify, or we can be have the calculation of or determination of E by M of electron. So that is we can be having now. So what is the experimental arrangement? What are the apparatus requirement for this J.J. Thomson method to determine specific charge of electron? So that apparatus is consisting, discharge tube is required, where it is given the conditions to produce cathode rays by applying high potential and very low pressures when we have taken any gas in the discharge tube. Yeah, that is already we discussed in the previous video. So we are applying that condition and cathode rays are produced. They are nothing but electrons. Those electrons are generated with the help of discharge tube. And these generated cathode rays are allowed to pass through a anode arrangement, a cylindrical metallic anode having very fine small bore along which the cathode rays are propagated. And once they are propagating from that anode, they are allowing into the given both fields, that is electric and magnetic fields. So you can be see this arrangement for this J.J. Thomson method for this experiment. As here the construction principle already I explained, that is cathode rays are allowed to pass through both electric and magnetic fields perpendicular to each other. Yeah, this is the principle and construction for this. So here construction for this J.J. Thomson method for determining E by M, that is nothing but specific charge. So in this you can be having here a discharge tube is there, and there are arrangement of, this is a screen you can having here, so like this. So here this is a discharge tube where here the cathode is there, minus cathode, and from this cathode the cathode rays are generated and they are propagated along straight lines, and there will be strikes on the screen at S. This is a screen which is made up of ZnS, zinc sulfide. This screen is coated with zinc sulfide on which these cathode rays are allowed to strike when they are produced in the discharge tube. And here we have, there are two anodes are there. This is given to positive terminal, it is A, and there is one more anode, that is A dash. Okay, these two are anodes. We have A and A dash. These A and A dash are made these cathode rays to be propagated along straight line. The collimation, the axis of this discharge tube is parallel to these bores which are made for these anode metallic plates. And now, once these cathode rays are produced in this discharge tube, these are propagating through the bores of the two anodes, and after reaching these cathode rays in the region of here, there is a two metal plates which are connected to external battery potential. This is a plate E1, this is a plate E2, and these are given to the external battery with the positive terminal, negative terminal. Here produces electric field, and in the same region there is a circular current carrying coil, and in this current is propagating along clockwise direction. So in this direction the current is propagating, so that the magnetic field is produced here. That magnetic field is represented by B, and direction of magnetic field is perpendicular to the plane of the board inside. Here the magnetic field we have, that magnetic field direction is perpendicular to the plane of the board and inward, and direction of electric field is vertically downward, but cathode rays are propagating along horizontal direction. So this is a arrangement, experimental arrangement we can be seen to determine specific charge of electron, right? So in this, what will be observed? This is the construction we can be having. So now we can be have the theory part, where we are allowing only electric field. We are giving or applying only electric field. In that electric field, if these cathode rays are propagated, they will be experience the force. Already I said properties of cathode rays. In that, the cathode rays can be deflected in the presence of both electric and magnetic field. Same way here also, when you apply the electric field here, in this electric field, once these cathode rays are entered, they get experience a force and they made deviation. So in the presence of that electric field alone, the cathode rays are gets deviated, and there will be strikes on the screen at S1. So why they are deviated this direction? Because electrons are nothing but negative charge. They will be attracted towards this is a positive terminal, positive electrode. This is the negative electrode. So automatically these cathode rays are gets deflected towards a positive electrode with some force, right? So because of that, these cathode rays are deviated and strikes on the screen at a point S1. That is only in the presence of electric field. In the presence of electric field, the cathode rays are experience of force, they will be gets deflected and they strikes on the screen at point S1. Same way, now you apply only this magnetic field. Electric field is terminated. Only we are applying the magnetic field. The magnetic field is already I said here, it is perpendicular to the plane of the board, inward direction. Because here, when the current is passing through the coil, you can be apply the right hand thumb rule to get the direction of magnetic field. So this is the current direction. It is a clockwise direction. Then what you can be observed here, like this you see. In this way, the current is passing. Then the magnetic field generated by this current carrying loop, the magnetic field direction is inward. So these folded fingers will be the showing direction of current flowing in the coil. So that will be, this is the direction of current flowing. and which can be produces magnetic field, that will be shows the direction along the thumb. So thumb will be shows the direction of magnetic field which is inward, right? So now you apply that magnetic field for this cathode rays, and they can also experience the force. With that force, these cathode rays are gets deflected and they can be moves in the direction of downward, like this. They will move and strikes on the screen at point S2. So this is the observation you can be seen in this experiment. Now theory part, the equation part, how we can determine the specific charge of electron. So for that, just you can be go through here. That is when you apply only electric field, the cathode rays are experience of force. Because of the force, they will be, instead of passing through the straight, they will be deviated and strikes at S1. And if you apply only magnetic field alone for these cathode rays, again they will be deflected, but they are in downward direction, and that will be observed by using the Fleming left hand rule. The force experienced by the any charged particle which is enter into the magnetic field is given by the Fleming's left hand rule. So these magnetic fields, magnetic effects of charges, moving charges in magnetic fields, you are may not be covered in your track 1. You will be get after this current electricity. So now just you remember the charges can be, moving charges can be experience of force in the presence of both electric and magnetic field. So what is that force? That force equation and its direction. The direction is given by Fleming left hand rule. That means here these three fingers will be, that is a thumb, forefinger, middle finger. So you can be represent in such a way that this is what you can be observed. This forefinger is, you can be observed the direction of the rays, the charge flow. This middle finger will be shows the direction of field. So this is what you can be having field direction. This is the what you can be called charge velocity or the direction of the propagational charge, and this thumb will be shows the direction of force. So the force acting on this cathode rays by this magnetic field is which direction? Downward direction. Because of this downward direction, these cathode rays are gets deflected towards downward, and there will be strikes on the screen at S2. Right? This is the theoretical part explanation about this experiment. In this, what is going to happen? Right? Now the equation part, that is the force on the cathode rays are electrons in the presence of only electric field. So now I am writing here force on electron, force on electron due to electric field, due to electric field alone. Fe is equal to charge into electric field. Okay, this is the equation for force experienced by the electron in the presence of electric field having the strength of E. Same way, force on electron due to magnetic fields, due to magnetic field alone, that is Fb is equal to, the formula for this one is QVB sin theta. The formula for the force experienced by a charge having the charge is Q, which is moving with velocity V, in the presence of magnetic field having the strength is B, and angle between the direction of charge motion and direction of magnetic field is theta. Then that force experienced by the charge is given by, this is the equation. Now here the theta is the direction of the charge flow and direction of magnetic field, inward and like this. They are mutually perpendicular. So theta is 90, and charge I can write it is charge of electron E, small e. So I can write here force acting on the charge because of the magnetic field is given by EVB sin 90. Sin 90 is 1. So this is the equation for the force experienced by the charge, that is electron, in the presence of magnetic field. Right? And now these are individual. Now what we are going to see is we can be apply both the fields simultaneously such that both the fields are perpendicular to each other. Then we can say that fields are said to be crossed fields. And here you can be observed the flow of charges, that is cathode rays, the direction of cathode rays, direction of electric field, direction of magnetic field, three are mutually perpendicular. And in this mutually perpendicular condition, we are observed that with the presence of electric field, the force is upward. In the presence of magnetic field, force is downward. Both are opposite direction. If their magnitudes are equal, the force acting on the charged particles, that is cathode rays or electrons, we are maintaining such that the net force acting on the cathode rays will be zero. We are taking a condition such that both electrical force and magnetic force are opposite direction and they are equal in magnitude. They will be nullified. Therefore, the net force acting on that electrons will be zero. If you take that condition, then what you can be observed. And here we can be see that I can not removing the diagram. I just remember these equations. Force on electron due to the electric field, force on same electron due to magnetic field alone. We have the E into E and here EVB. Right. Now I just remove this part. I'll write the another equations, that is when crossed fields are applied such that net force on electron is zero, that is nullified. Net force acting on that electron is zero when you are applying both the fields simultaneously perpendicular to each other. Then we are taking the net force on the charges will be zero. Under that condition, net force is zero means their magnitudes are equal. Therefore, what we can write here? The force on charge because of electric field should be equal to force on same charge because of magnetic field. Having when they will be gets cancelled or nullified, their magnitudes are equal and opposite direction, that vectors will be nullified. Same way here, the magnitude should be equal. That means here this will be gives you what is the force acting on the electron because of electric field? It is charge into electric field. And what is the force acting on the same electron because of magnetic field? That is EVB. Now here this electron charge is cancelled. So velocity of the charged particle is given by E by B. So this is the equation, let it be 1. The velocity of this cathode rays, or it is a moving in the presence of both electric and magnetic fields, is given determined by, that is the equation. It is the ratio of electric field to magnetic field strengths. Then you can determine the velocity of that electron when that fields are crossed fields, that is perpendicular to each other. So this is the equation 1 we got. Now important here you observed the velocity of these cathode rays. The velocity of these cathode rays depends upon how much potential you are giving for these cathode rays. How much work done we are giving. That means that these velocity, these cathode rays are getting velocity is nothing but they are acquiring kinetic energy. From where they are getting that kinetic energy? The kinetic energy they are getting by doing work on these cathode rays by applying the external potential. By applying the external battery potential, that work done is doing on that cathode rays. Because of that work done, the velocity acquired by the cathode rays can be varied, and that velocity by which it can be having a energy that is called kinetic energy. The kinetic energy acquired by these electrons is equal to, or is nothing but the amount of work done on that cathode rays. Right? Now I am taking that condition. That is, I'll just remove this diagram. The diagram part is over. Just you can be see here. The next part is now here the kinetic energy. The kinetic energy of electron is nothing but amount of work done on that electrons by external potential. Nothing but work done by external potential. So therefore you can write here kinetic energy of electrons is equal to external work done by the applied potential. So now kinetic energy you can write it is half m v square and work done is charge into potential. So this equation you can be get in your electrostatics in track 1. Maybe it is covered or not covered, but it is the work done equation is charge into potential. So that is given by, this is the equation. Now from this you can write here E by m is equal to V square by 2V naught. So the ratio of E by m, that is we required this equation only. That is the ratio of charge to mass of an electron is given by this equation, let it be second one. Now you can be observed here, this is a known value, but velocity of cathode rays we don't know. But this velocity we can be get from the equation 1, that is you can be observed here. So by comparing the equations 1 and 2, that is from 1 and 2, we can write here E by m is equal to V square. V is here, it is given or we derived or we got in the equation 1. That is E square upon 2V naught B square. So this is the equation for the ratio of charge to the mass of electron. If you observe this equation, that is a third equation. If you observe the equation 3, in this all these variables are the electric field, magnetic field, and this is the applied potential. These are we are applying in the experiment. When you are assigning or when you are applying these values of electric field, magnetic field and battery potential, you can be make it note down, and that values you can be substitute in these. These are known values, as we are noting down these values when you are doing the experiment itself. So by substituting the value of electric field, magnetic field and applied battery potential, then we can get it is the ratio, that is E by m, charge to mass ratio of electron we can be determined, right? So this is the equation in terms of known variables. That is electric field we are applying in the experiment, magnetic field that also we are applying, and external battery potential that also we are applying in the experiment. So once you are substituting these three variables, that when we noted down while doing the experiment, we can get the ratio of E to m, that is E by m, which is known as specific charge of an electron, and its value is experimentally determined in this and provided as the E by m of electron is equal to it is 1.7588 into 10 power 11 coulomb per kg. So this is the value of specific charge of an electron determined in this experiment with the help of J.J. Thomson method. This is observed in the year of 1897. So before 90s itself it is calculated or determined by the Thomson from his discharge tube arrangement, right? And now here there are some important information you have to note down or observed, that is this E by m, that is the specific charge of an electron depends on what factors. From this experiment it is observed and noted down as here. There are three important notes you have to remember, that is the value of E by m of an electron is calculated, already I given here E by m is equal to this 1.7588 into 10 power 11 coulomb per kg. Now here you can be observed certain important notes regarding this specific charge of an electron from this experiment. It is observed that the first point or first note, the specific charge of an electron is independent of gas we choose in the discharge tube. Whatever the gas you choose or you select, the result is same. You can be get the value is done by this much. E by m is equal to, this is the value we can be get. You take any type of gas. There is not compulsory air or nitrogen or chlorine or whatever. That means here E by m of electron is independent of nature of the gas which is chosen in the discharge tube. Right? So here E by m of an electron independent of nature of gas. And second note, E by m, that is specific charge of an electron, specific charge of an electron is also independent of nature of electrodes. And there is one more is there, that is third one. So whenever you are changing the velocity of electron, there is a change in the mass of electron. That is, when you observe here, the velocity of the charged particle is varied, then the mass will be increased. When the mass is increased, the specific charge is decreased. So that is, you can be observed here, E by m of an electron decreases with increasing velocity. So this is observed with the help of